What's the most dramatic blow-up you've seen at a holiday dinner? Dad clinked his fork against his wine glass during the prayer. Not after, during. While Mom was thanking God for our blessings, our health, our family together. The clink was deliberate, aggressive, like he couldn't wait another second. Everyone opened their eyes. 22 people around Mom's extended dining table, the one she'd inherited from her mother, expanded with both leaves for the holiday. Dad stood up, still holding his wine glass, filled with whiskey, not wine. He announced he had another family in Portland. Not an affair, not a mistake. A family, wife, 3 kids, house with a swimming pool. 9 years he'd been living this double life. The youngest kid was 8. Did the math for us right there, standing over the turkey he'd just carved. Mom's sister dropped the gravy boat. It shattered against the hardwood. Brown liquid spreading like the silence spreading through the room. Dad kept talking, said he was tired of pretending, said he'd chosen them, said he'd be moving permanently next week. My brother James laughed, not humor, disbelief, asked if this was some sick joke. Dad pulled out his phone, showed photos, his other wife, younger than my sister, his other children, 2 boys and a girl, wearing matching Christmas pajamas, their house, bigger than ours, their family portraits at the beach, at Disney World, at places he told us were business trips. Mom stood up slowly, walked to the kitchen, came back with the carving knife, not threatening, just holding it, like she'd forgotten she'd picked it up. Dad stepped back anyway, kept talking, explaining how he'd met Patricia at a conference, how it just happened, how he tried to choose but couldn't, so he'd chosen both, for 9 years. My sister Katie Googled Patricia while Dad was talking, found her Facebook, public profile, hundreds of photos of their perfect family. Dad at birthday parties we thought were client dinners. Dad at school plays during his supposed golf weekends. Dad teaching his other son to ride a bike while ours learned alone. Grandma, 91 years old, asked to see the photos. Scrolled through Patricia's Facebook on Katie's phone with surprising tech literacy. Stopped at a photo from last Christmas. Dad in matching pajamas with them, in front of a tree, dated December 23rd. We'd waited until the 26th to celebrate because Dad had been stuck in Chicago with flight delays. There were no flight delays. Grandma threw Katie's phone at Dad's head. Direct hit, broke his nose. Blood poured onto Mom's lace tablecloth, the one she'd hand-washed that morning. Uncle Pete stood up, took off his jacket. Dad misread it as aggression, started backing toward the door. Pete wasn't going to fight. He was going to comfort Mom. But Mom didn't want comfort. Mom wanted answers. How he'd afforded it, where the money went, why their retirement was gone, why she'd had to work doubles at the hospital. Dad explained the financial fraud like a PowerPoint presentation. Second mortgage on the house Mom didn't know about. Loans against his 401k, credit cards in her name. Katie's college fund, liquidated. James's car savings, gone. $60,000 in debt Mom would inherit because her name was on everything. That's when James flipped the table, not metaphorically. Grabbed the edge and heaved. 22 place settings, the turkey, 7 side dishes, 3 pies, all of it airborne. The neighbors called the police when they heard the screaming. Dad tried to leave. Grandma, 91, osteoporosis, 100 pounds, blocked the door. Told him he'd explain everything first. Every lie, every stolen moment, every Christmas morning he'd missed with us to wake up with them. Dad pushed past her, gentle but firm. She fell anyway. Hip fracture. We'd learn later at the hospital. The police arrived to find Mom in the front yard, burning Dad's clothes. She'd dragged his entire closet out, doused it in lighter fluid from the garage, created a bonfire in suburbia. Dad was trying to save his suits while she threw more on. Photo albums, his golf clubs, the anniversary gifts he'd given her that she now realized were guilt presents. Patricia called during the bonfire. Dad's phone, somehow surviving Grandma's throw, rang with a special ringtone. My heart will go on. Patricia was worried. He was late for their Thanksgiving. Their children were waiting to eat. Could he hurry? Mom answered, told Patricia everything. The 23 years of marriage, the 4 children here, the house Patricia's name was apparently also on, illegally, through forged documents, the fraud that would destroy both families. Patricia hung up, called back, hung up again, called the police in Portland to report Dad for bigamy. He wasn't legally married to her, but she didn't know that until Mom explained Oregon's marriage records were public. Dad was arrested that night on fraud charges, not bigamy, harder to prove. But financial crimes with evidence? Easy. Mom had hired a lawyer before the police finished their report. By morning, accounts were frozen, properties were liened, and Dad's other family learned they owned nothing. Patricia posted everything on Facebook. Her shock, her children's tears, their Thanksgiving ruined. The internet took sides. Team Mom versus Team Patricia, though they weren't enemies. Both victims, both destroyed. Dad spent Thanksgiving in jail. Black Friday too.